Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Catching Up. I'm your host, Lauren Kalil. On today's episode, we have Monster Energy's Director of Marketing for Combat Sports and CrossFit, Hans Molenkamp, and one of Monster's most recent sponsor in the 2021 Fittest Man on Earth, Justin Medeiros. How's it going, guys? The Open is over. Are you guys both feeling good?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to come, and then I'm always ready for it to be over when it's done.
Hans, this was your first Open. Are you extra excited that it's over and you have a full year to train before the next one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had no idea what the Open was a year ago, and jumping into it this year and understanding how the general concept of the Open and the quarters, the semis, and the finals. Now I get it. I understand. I have a better idea of how CrossFit works. And I got to say, it's been an experience, and I really truly admire these athletes for what they go through, because just doing two open, just doing two workouts,
Gotta watch this one.
floored me. I would say, and I told this to Justin before, I would rather be punched in the face than have to go through that again, because that was heavy duty.
What were you feeling in this moment right now, Hans?
At that point when I fell over, I'm glad it's done. It's like the fight bell ringing, going, "Oh, it's over with. I didn't get knocked out. I'm survived somehow."
Oh yeah, I love the lay down at the end. We can all relate to that. Justin, do you remember your first CrossFit Open?
Definitely, no, for sure. I've done the Open for a while, so it's I have a lot of good memories like that.
What is it like when you finally are drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and understand what CrossFit really is all about, Hans?
You know, a lot of because a lot of the movements and a lot of the CrossFit exercises and just what CrossFit embodies is very, very similar to strength training that I've done my whole life. It's the way it's packaged up and the way that it's done differently every day isn't normal to me, but I now get how the athletes, move and what, just little things to improve the movements for why, to increase time or whatever. It's really just it's remarkable to see how this has become like a sport in a way that it'd be normal, just gym exercises that have been condensed into these workouts that have been morphed into a game that shows how amazing these athletes are from all over. I mean, it's not just they're really good, in strength. They're also really good in gymnastics, and they're really good at swimming, or they're really good at just anything. It's truly, I mean, it's phenomenal. And now that I understand it a lot better now, I can watch it and go, I can appreciate a lot more, and I do. And it's seeing it, the Open experience for me was one of those things where when I went into it, just thinking, okay, I don't know what my result's going to be. I have no idea because I've never done this. And that's what everyone goes through, right? So no one knows what the result's going to be at first Open. You're like, okay, I think I could do okay with this. And then you start to run it. And as it starts, oh, wow, round 5. Oh my gosh. This is I think I went too fast, and then you get to 6. Uh-oh. And then you're like, oh my God. And you start looking at the clock and you're like, I just want to survive. I just want to survive now at this point. It's survival mode. And watching them go through it and do it at the ease, it's amazing, because that's I didn't realize how hard it was. I just didn't understand the level of commitment you have to have, in the gym on a daily basis to be able to do these exercises and to do these movements and to do these workouts so that you can be ready for a workout that you absolutely have no idea is coming up the next week. There's no clue. There's no crumb drops of I think it's going to be this, or it's I mean, at least I don't know, and I was trying to pay attention as hard as I could. Maybe they'll do that. But then when that third one came out, I was blown away, because I was like, I don't even know how to do some of these movements. And so I would assume that would take the pool of a lot of people out, and I know that you could, there's different variations of scaling and different ways to do it. But to be at that, at that elite level and try to do it where they're at, you're done. you're done. The fun part of it, of everybody, the team camaraderie part, is now switching over to the level, like the elite level athletes in the gym that now you're supporting, which is awesome. That part of it I love, because you really do start supporting the people that you're working out with around you. And that was the first experience in the gym that I did my first CrossFit workout ever with Noah at Peak 360. I saw that and I felt that, because I was just getting through the workout and I was struggling towards the end, and like, Noah's coming up, and so all these other people are coming up cheering you on to finish up, and I'm like, I got to do this now, and it's just like, everyone pushes each other. It's great.
Yeah. Justin, the Open for you is a success this year, or at least to the viewers, it was a success. We'll ask you if it was a success in your mind, but you were third overall. What were some of the biggest highlights that you had from this year's Open?
Yeah, I mean, going to this year's Open, I mean, I think there's less of a stress on the Open, given the how the season's been laid out now. But it doesn't kind of change the fact for me that every year I want to beat myself from last year. I want to get fitter every single year I've done the Open, and I have. So last year I got 59th or something like that in the world, and I was just kind of going into this year trying to beat that. But with the emphasis not being on the Open, I was like, I'm just going to do one and dones all the way through, have a good time, enjoy the community aspect of it, and hopefully I can keep improving. I was able just to do that, especially doing an Open announcement and traveling and all that, and still to be able to look at the leaderboard at the end of the competition and being like, sweet, that went awesome. I did one and dones all the way through, and I had two top 10 finishes and workouts. I was really happy with how it went.
What is it like to do an Open announcement where you are the first person to test out what the programmer comes up with?
Dude, it's terrible. I mean, I'm talking to everybody. I mean, I was talking to everyone. Everyone's like, dude, it's just an Open announcement. It's whatever. The Open doesn't really matter this year. And I'm like, that's not the point. It's still a competition, I'm going against Saxon. We're good friends and everything, but no one wants to go on live competition and lose, So you're always playing out the worst case scenarios in your head of dude, they're going to release my worst movements and they're going to be his best movements. I'm just going to get humiliated on a live competition, but it all worked out good. It's a super fun event, and to do those is I think it's super special because not too many people get to do those Open announcements. So just to walk out there and do it, and this year was on my birthday, so it made it that much better.
Did you celebrate with cake and ice cream after?
Oh yeah, we had crumble cookies, so it was good.
I watched those two guys when they were competing. I was watching them because it reminded me of a fight. There was two opponents in a small area competing against each other, and I was watching Justin. I was watching how he was looking over. He would wild eye a little bit and look over, just seeing where where was it Saxon? That was his name.
Yeah,
where Saxon was at, and watched him looking over too. And I was just watching them go, and it was cool. You really saw that. I mean, it was intense. The intensity level, being there, watching it up close, was pretty cool.
Yeah. And Hans, what is it like to see those top level competitors like Justin or anybody else, and then see their time and then see your time after you do a workout?
Oh, I mean, I've been around elite level athletes for the last 20 years, so I don't ever even want to think or even put myself in that kind of parameter of he's, 20 years younger than me, so it's I'm not even thinking that I could even get to his level. But I mean, I do think that it's really cool and fun that we all did the same thing. Right. And so understanding that and watching that, it's really cool to go we did this together. That part of the Open, and David Woods from CrossFit was the one that was pushing me. Is you got to do the Open, you got to do the Open, you got to do the Open. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about your time, don't worry about any stuff. Just do it so you get the experience. And I was I don't know, man. I kept on pushing back. I go, I don't know, because the ego in me was I don't know. I know I'm not going to do good at this, so I don't I'd rather. Can I just do something else? And he's do it, just do it. And so doing it made me go, yeah, I did do this with these guys. I know I'm nowhere near their level, but understanding that that there was a workout that an entire community globally did. That's amazing. That's one of the largest athletic events I've ever participated in, where everybody's doing the same thing. and I went back and I started scrolling through, just looking at other people's posts and seeing it from, like people like of all ages, in different countries. And like, it was just so cool to see like, man, this is a really cool community of people that are really getting together and doing this together. Yeah, like there's that, when I said when it got to 22.3, yeah, that changed everything up, and like that was the wake up call for me going, I get it now. This is how, because I did want to know. I personally wanted to know, like, how do you get from here? Because if the workouts are like this, like how does Justin get from here to the games? If they're all going to be consistently kind of like this, well, they're not. And that's where you find out. And I'm certain that everybody in CrossFit, outside of myself at that time, knew, yeah, these are going to get really tough real quick. And it's just phenomenal to see the people and like the community just rally around everybody. I've never seen anything like it. Any of the sports I've been involved in, whether it's action sports, motorsports, fighting, it's a different thing. And it's so community based that, I mean, I have a whole new respect for everything about CrossFit, whole thing.
Oh, I love when a new person to CrossFit finally understands and gets to know it. And doing the open, there's no better way to understand really the levels of CrossFit. But Justin, you recently signed on with Monster Energy as a sponsor. It's still kind of new, but what has that partnership been like from the athlete's perspective so far?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at the first go, I was really nervous about it. I mean, Monster's just this huge company that's been in so many action sports, and I was worried that was just going to be like such a small fish and this huge pond, and it's been totally different than that. I mean, just like have a relationship with Hans, I thought it was just kind of be like getting there, and it's going to be kind of back and forth, but to kind of have a relationship with some of the people from there has been super cool, and that's kind of one of the most important things for me when I'm trying to look for a new partner. Is I want to make sure that I have like a relationship with the people that I'm working with. And that's been super cool. And to have a company like that to come into the space, that's helped a lot of these other sports grow into what they are. And I'm really excited to see the opportunities that come within CrossFit to have the support of Monster kind of being a part of that.
Right. And when you see a company so big as Monster Energy, what are some thoughts that pop into your head about how the sport can professionalize when we have companies like Monster in the mix?
Yeah, and I think it also just brings a whole like different demographic of people that are going to be introduced into the sport, which I think is just good for everybody. I mean, the CrossFit community is awesome, and you get people like even like Hans hopping in on the open now. I think it's super cool to see, and I think CrossFit kind of speaks for itself once you get people kind of a taste of it and they drink that Kool-Aid, like you were saying. And I think that's going to be really cool to kind of help like market and grow the business. But obviously, it gives athletes the opportunity to kind of do this for a full-time sport. And I think that's kind of what CrossFit's getting to at the top end level. There's athletes out there now that don't have to work a full day job and then go like try to train at night or in the morning before work. And now it gives these athletes opportunity to kind of showcase like what's possible for CrossFit. I think that's super cool. And I think it's just going to help like all the way down the ladder.
And Hans, now you've officially done your first ever CrossFit Open, so we can call you a CrossFitter. But maybe you're in the club. You're in.
Oh man, I don't know if I'm officially a CrossFitter yet, but I definitely am 100% drinking the Kool-Aid. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like Justin said, I mean, that's our goal is to we want to amplify what CrossFit's doing. We want to amplify the athletes. We want to, put them in a position where they can be seen and shown with all the other, amazing athletes that are on our roster. We work with some of the greatest organizations in the world, and adding CrossFit to that regiment just, further shows like we are only picking the top tier, athletes and organizations, and CrossFit's one of them, and that's for me, it's been it's just been a delight. It's cool to work with the athletes are amazing. The organization's amazing. Working with everybody. Morning Chalk Up's been amazing. Everyone, and we did come to the space. I mean, like, I'm not ignorant to the fact that when we were coming into a space that like, I was taking fire on the way in, and I just wanted to make sure, and the rollout that I kind of put together was, I don't want to come in and just blast out the water and just be like, we're here, this is us, like, I know we did a slow roll, we did the games, and then we built the team, and then we went to, we did Wadapalooza, and then we were trickling out, making sure everybody knew, like, this is who we're associated with. We have one of the best CrossFit teams in history that was assembled, under the Monster label, and we want to be aspirational, for the CrossFit community, be like, hey, like, we want people to want to be a part of what we're doing. We also want to make sure that we're including the gyms, and we're including, like, working with other companies in the space. We're deep in it, and when I do something like that, I'm all in. Like, I won't do it unless I'm all in.
But for those who might still be hesitant about the relationship with Monster Energy and CrossFit, what do you have to say to those people who aren't fully bought in yet?
I think that it comes down to this, is that, we're a beverage company. The beverage company that this derived from was Hanson's Natural Soda. A lot of people don't realize that Hanson's Natural Soda was a natural soda company that was sold at premium grocery stores and, nutrition shops and stuff. And that became, we created a drink that had more caffeine, which was Hanson's Energy. That then we made a bigger can, the Monster can. That became the Hanson's Monster Energy can that became Monster. And so we've always been in a space to have, like, natural good ingredients, and we have our drinks, like the Ultra line is 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and then our Hydro Super Sport has BCAAs and all kinds of different vitamins, and it's a good sports recovery drink. We're here to show that, like, we're not just, like, this sugary soda that everyone wants to believe that we have so many different SKUs. And just like every other drinks out there, like, we're not just one drink doing one thing. We're serving a purpose across the board for many different people. And just like we sponsor many different sports and many different athletes, it's the same thing with the beverages we make. We have different beverages for different lifestyles. And the beverages we're pushing for CrossFit, the Ultra and the Hydro brand stuff we do, that's specific to, the CrossFit consumer, which is, again, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, the lifestyle that CrossFit has kind of, like, put out there. And that's our goal. We just want to make sure people know that that's what we're doing. And we're not just, like, trying to be a sponsor and then be out. We're fully committed to making this a good thing.
Justin, what are you most excited for with this new partnership with Monster?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what the future looks like, but it always just gets me excited when I'm working with good people and have a good team around me. And I think once you can kind of, like, check those boxes, and I think, like, the future is going to be super bright. And like Hans said, like, they have so many different products for all different lifestyles, and them coming out with, like, products for CrossFit, it really kind of shows that they're kind of all in. And like Hans said, like, they're not going to do something unless you go all in on it. And that's kind of how I've kind of lived my life. If I'm going to be a wrestler, like, I'm all in on wrestling. I'm going to go to CrossFit, like, I'm all in. I'm not going to do something kind of just halfway in, halfway out. And it just kind of gets me excited to kind of see, like, what we can accomplish and what we can grow to, because I know we have a really good team around us.
Oh, we learned that you were all in as soon as you got that mullet, and you just kept it. Okay, guys, we're going to end on a note of what our favorite memory or moment from the CrossFit Open was. Hans, let's start with you, because this was your first one. What is the best memory you had this year?
The best memory was actually going to CrossFit Invictus and working with CJ and Bryce down there, and them actually, like, from a coaching perspective, explain to me how this, how that workout was going to go, and deeply giving me a real conversation about it, because I wasn't prepared for it, and so it was it was not only was it fun to do, but it made me really feel like I was a part of something, and that was, like, where I felt, I really felt the community aspect at that point, because CJ, and CrossFit Invictus has they've been there forever, and, like, they didn't need to help me out. Like, this wasn't like something that, like, they were just genuinely good people that were like, we want to help you, and, like, come down here, you could do it here, we'll judge you. And they gave me some, tips and some pointers to do, and I just went for it, and that was like, I actually, I got off the plane. I came back from watching Justin I literally got off the plane at San Diego Airport and drove straight to CrossFit Invictus right off the 6-hour flight. Cause I was so hyped on watching him do it. And I was like, deadlifts are my thing. I like doing deadlifts, and like, I just like recently I had a surgery 6 months ago where I had a disc replacement in my neck. It's my second disc replacement. My neck is fused at one level and I had a disc replacement. So I just started getting back into working out kind of hard. And so I jumped off the plane, drove straight to CrossFit Invictus. And I was like, I don't care what my result is. I just want to do it. And I want to do it now. So I don't wait. And I don't want to wait till tomorrow and then put it off. I was like coming off of the energy that Justin had at that like birthday, I got to be out there for it. We had some fun and it's like, I got to go do this. And that was it. And that was like, that really just drove it in for me. Now I understand why everyone gets so excited for the Open. They get so excited for the workout and like now following the season, it's like, I'm in. I'm watching all of it. Like like, what's up? What's next? What's going to happen? Like, that's like that's the grabbing point that I want to convey back. My goal is to convey back to the Monster community, the community that we serve outside of CrossFit. I want to be able to spread like the message that I got, the feelings that I got doing the Open and being a part of it, meeting guys like Justin and just Daniel, his crew, like everybody that I work with on his side, O'Keefe. It's just been so great that I want to 100%, share that with everybody else so that they can see how cool CrossFit is and like get other athletes that participate in the sports that we sponsor. And I'm already working on that. Like I'm going to get Justin have him do a workout with Daniel Cormier, the former 2-time UFC world champion. Like we've got that set up because Justin, is a former wrestler and they actually met each other years ago. And so we FaceTimed. I was at Cormier's for my son was at a wrestling camp at Cormier's and we FaceTimed and Cormier already called out Justin. So it's good. So they're going to wrestle. They're going to do some wrestling.
Here we go.
And then I can't wait. And I'm going to say this on record. I can't wait for Justin just to annihilate Cormier because I want to see him get smashed and he's going to get smashed. And we're going to record all of it.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Justin, how do you feel about that?
Dude, I'm ready. I mean, like he said, I met Daniel Cormier when I was in 8th grade. He came to a local wrestling tournament. I mean, we're both from NorCal area, so he came and swung by, and it was awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm not going to back down from any challenge, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh, they were trash talking on FaceTime. Like they didn't even meet each other, and both of them are so competitive that they didn't even have to know each other, but the trash talk just happened. And I felt like I was like a little promoter in the background going, oh, here we go. Cormier versus Justin. This is going to be amazing.
Back there just stirring the pot. I love it.
Exactly.
I want to blend these worlds, I want to blend the worlds of mixed martial arts. I want to blend, the worlds of skateboarding, action sports, motocross, surfing. Like Nathan Florence, who's he's an amazing surfer from Hawaii. He is all in on CrossFit, and he surfs, the biggest waves in the world. If you guys check out Nathan Florence, you'll see that he surfed, like these massive waves in Hawaii, but like his training and his prep is CrossFit. And so legitly, he does CrossFit. And so he's one of those guys that like, he gets it. And I'm starting to see in like Jessica Rose Clark, who's one of our fighters that fights out of Dublin in California. She works out a gym with Kieran Fitzgibbons, CSA, which also has a CrossFit gym. So it's a CrossFit and an MMA gym, and she does it. So like, all these things, like the blending of the different sports and getting them involved, I think could be very good, not only for CrossFit, but for the other sports and just getting everybody integrated.
Justin, your favorite Open memory?
Yeah, I mean, I think I love the Open just because, like Hans even said, I mean, it's a worldwide community. I'm doing the same workouts as my mom, my dad, and just like as a person that just walked into the gym for the first time. So doing week 3 at CrossFit Fort Vancouver, I mean, my gym had 112 men and 112 women all sign up for the Open. So we had 224 people throwing down. Yeah, it was awesome. And we had the Buttery Bros, Mars and Hebert, come out, and Julian, and we just kind of like threw down. We started like heats, I think at around like 3 o'clock, and we went all the way until like 6:30, just heats every like 20, 30 minutes, just kind of pumping people out, and had a
Oh, that's
whole crew
awesome.
barbecued and had a good time. It was a good way to just kind of like cap off like an awesome open experience. So that's always super fun. I love the community aspect of it, and freaking have 224 people sign up at your gym for the open. I mean, it's wild. I mean, we had like caution tape on and made like a little competition floor and had a bunch of people throw it down. So it was a super fun time.
So much fun. We love the open. Hans, we're glad that you finally did the open. Thank you guys for sitting down and recapping that and talking more openly about the partnership too. We're excited to see where the future holds for Monster Energy and CrossFit.
We
Heck
are
yeah.
too.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.